Yep. Beth is on has got a reservation on the space shuttle that's going on. So some of us are inside, some of us are outside the four walls. Yeah. Some of us in good mood, some of us in bad mood, some of us have no idea what mood we have. It doesn't matter. This is not a caravan of despair. Different weather. Come on in. Just come on in. Come. Whoever you are, wherever you are. Or as Sahid says, the original Persian, Rumi says, come back. Come back. Just come back to here again. This court is not a court of despair. Wanderers, worshippers, lovers of leaving. Deniers, worshippers of false idols, false idols, denier of false idols. It doesn't matter. Let go of whatever particular position you tend to stick to. Let go of your political persuasion. Let go of your identification with class. All of that. Just let it all go. And let's transition. We're practicing now, separating. Taking our separation, our little mini space shuttle liftoff, or ground down today. Let's come in the door, sit down. Keep coming in. Those of you arriving now, slow it down. Again, wherever you're coming from, a good day, a bad day, a full morning, an empty morning, afternoon, interesting, dull. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter right now. We're just crossing the threshold to now. Practicing, taking our leave. Separating from what's been familiar. That's our practice. Carving out this time, just in this moment, coming in, settling down. Just mute your screen, take your place, one among the 70, that's all. Just one among the others right now. Whether you're live on this broadcast, viewing it as a recording, it doesn't matter. Just come here. Suspend all judgments, all self-judgments especially. Use the ground of your being. As your ground. Feel the ground underneath you. Feel the solidness of the ground underneath you. Nothing else. This one capacity, this one tool to be rooted and grounded time and again keeps us from doing no harm sometimes. Keeps us anchored inside ourselves, regardless of how we're feeling, regardless of the circumstances around us. Calls us back. Notice when you bring your awareness down to your seat or your feet and you feel the solidity underneath you. As your awareness drops into the ground, it's as if the ground rises up to meet you, enter you. You can breathe in ground. ground, earth, helping you to separate out from wherever you've just been, coming to here. Take your time. If you can't find your seat, how could you ever find your way through the unknown? So sinking down into your seat, allow your breath to be in your awareness now, however it is. Just come back again, right here to your breath. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day, for making the choice to be here and joining in with us. Allow your breath to lengthen. Now join with it. Allow your breath to go down. Inhaling down. Feel what that's like. Suspend your judgment about your breathing. Now follow your next exhalation all the way out. Let go. Now see if you can let your inhalation, the next one, come in, enter you by itself. Just follow it. Now just try this and see how you can let go into your inhalation now, just like you did with the exhalation. No push. Let go into it and let go down. Just be aware, observe your patience, your impatience with slowing down, feeling the ground underneath you, finding your breath, following it, and now deepening into your breath. If you need to put a hand on your abdomen, lower, just to feel your breath drop all the way down into your pelvic floor now if you can. This capacity to ground and root in your own interior. The opposite of self-abandonment. if we could enact one of our journey rituals right now, which we won't be able to do because of our time, we would go from one to all 76 of us here, one to the other, and saying, Joseph, are you here? Hello, Joseph, are you here? Hello, Daniel, are you here? Shiloh, hello, are you here? We would call you each by name and call you here. You can hear the resonance of your name being spoken to you and addressed and calling you to hear, welcoming you to hear, each one of you. And from this place, we want to be available for a felt exchange, allowing our minds to quiet. One of the terrible faults of a modern human mind is how much we think we are certain of things, particularly when we're afraid. We feel very certain of what the world is like and what other people are like. And so we're practicing now letting go of certainty, not being sure of anything, not having to be, just for this little bit of time together today before we go anywhere new. So just feel the bodily sensations you have now, the ground underneath you, the movement of your breath, and even a kind of pulsing hum of energy, vibration, presence inside you. Clearing, emptying your mind. Don't know anything for a little bit. Today we want to open up a territory for exploration. I've been working on this page. It's just about complete here this morning around accepting the inevitability, the necessity, and even the importance of disorientation on our journey. Accepting the inevitability, the necessity, and the importance of tolerating a disorientation process. One of our first guests on the Essential Conversation series that we've had was Pat Solomon. Pat Solomon made a movie documentary about Joseph Campbell called Finding Joe. And the subtitle that he chose out of all the Joseph Campbell quotes that go around was that you'll have to be willing to let go of the life that you have planned for the life that's waiting for you. You'll have to learn how to let go at some point of the life you have planned so carefully or anxiously planned for in order to have and recognize and receive and enter into the life that's waiting for you. This is a hard one for a modern day ego. Our minds feel so sure, and we impose so much on ourselves from our own minds about what we think is supposed to be happening or what we're supposed to be doing at any given moment in our lives. So just notice for right now how you're doing with suspending and deepening your orientation before you return to your orientation to us, to the world. Just suspending everything for a minute and how that is. One of our pages on the tools on the website we have here for you is doing a daily reset, and that's exactly what we just did, a daily reset. Coming back now to right here, but for our purposes, wondering, where we all are on the journey that we're currently taking, how well we're able, or how poorly we're doing with separating ourselves out from our daily surroundings while we're in them. It's more work. Sometimes we're able to, sometimes not so well. Going into an initiatory phase, some kind of active process that takes us and moves us beyond where we've been. And then we return to whatever it is that's happening around us, our dailiness, right? Our ordinariness. So the challenge for us, for many of us now, is tolerating this profound state of disorientation that appears to have no real clarity, no real end point. We're all trying to sort out what we're doing, how we think about this pandemic. It's really easy right now to blame a lack of leadership there because we have lots of easy targets for that. But regardless, we've got to face and navigate the unknown. It's a time of disinformation. So how do we even get information that we can rely on or trust? But for our purposes, we're really wanting to learn to accept that disorientation is something we have got to go through. And that when we get disoriented, or we're being disoriented, like the economy is right now, this is not necessarily an indictment of who we are. This is not evidence necessarily of any personal failure. It is undoing us from a fixed posture on some vital level, a fixed position that doesn't work. Now, some of us are losing things that did work, like incomes, things that are essential to us, health. And we have to acknowledge those losses, but we also have to realize it's the opportunity here for us on this particular way that we're entering is something is being undone that our egos would not have agreed to. We're experiencing ordeals we would have never, ever asked for. And we can lament that, and we need to. We can protest that, and sometimes it's appropriate to do so, to speak up and have a voice. But ultimately, we've got to accept that something is being unraveled in us, undone, in some fundamental way that could actually be to our benefit. That we would have never chosen to do on our own. That's humbling to the ego, that we can be undone, something can be unraveled, no longer fixed and rigidified, in a way that could serve our lives going forward, once we can accept that and discern what that is. What's being undone? What are you surprised about that you were so attached to that you actually don't miss? How about that? That you would have never guessed and thought you've got to have. And what does this mean? And what could be better? What could be different? And what do we have to go through, right? That's the big question. What will we have to go through to get there? So we're moving gradually now towards one another and listening and opening up in a little bit to hearing from some of us and crossing the threshold. That's enough for some of us, right, to come on here and speak. But we want to hear from you about what it's like to feel something literally being undone in your life or in you that you've been so fixed upon or so identified with. And to hear from you about whatever trouble that's been for you, or whatever sorrow that's caused for you, or whatever unexpected freedom or liberation or positive that has come from you out of that. And then we're going to take up a second question. But the first one today is that, like, first step of something coming undone that you would have never wanted to come undone. And now that it's coming undone in you and in your life, and accepting that reality, what are you learning about your ability to tolerate that, feeling the importance, the necessity of it even if the next new thing has not yet arrived, something else or something better? How is that for all of you? I can't emphasize how important this skill is. So many of us try to go from one thing, doing one thing, to doing another thing, and it never works. We skip the undoing. It's like having your shoe tied into a knot and then tying your shoe some more. You've got to undo the knot before you retie. So maybe you've been resisting your undoing or judging your undoing, grieving, lamenting your undoing, protesting. But what has this undoing for you been like? And what are you learning, if anything, yet? And what are you being surprised to learn or to notice or observe? When you're ready, we're going to be your active witness to the journey and the adventures that are happening. How is this moving through you? You know, if you want to chat, just type yourself into the chat and we will have you come on. Say that you'd like to come on. Looking in there now, not seeing anybody yet, but someone will speak eventually. Or the quiet will be nice. Maybe the question itself undoes you. What? It's an unnerving question. Yes, Sasha, it is. The importance. Allard. Come on, Allard. And then we'll see who else after that. Joseph or Janet will keep track.
Yeah, I think it seems I'm in the process of undoing or letting go of that I'm always attacking authority figures. Like in school, it was my teachers. Then at work, it was my boss. And if it was not my boss, it was the boss of my boss. If it was them, it was a supervisory board or a shareholder. Always somebody who would be a complete idiot and really, really doesn't understand anything what's supposed to be happening. And I see the pattern more clear, and I'm sort of also slowly letting go of that, which is amazing how much energy, I mean, if you realize how much energy that is costing me, and if you stop doing that, yeah, how much time you gain actually. It's maybe a strange example, but that's happening for me now.
I think it's relevant, and it's quite relevant, you know. So could you say specifically like what you find yourself living through that's undoing you? Like in what in particular?
The specific situation that I'm experiencing now, or?
Yeah, like what you're living through that would give us a taste of what you're talking about, or a glimpse into that.
Let me know if I'm on the right track. Otherwise, for instance, now in my work, I'm having I was having a very fierce discussion with the supervisory board of the company I work for. And I realized that I'm just attacking that guy, just doing so badly to prove that I'm right and he's not, because I'm not right, I'm not worth, I'm, or, not good enough, not seen, not heard, all of that. And now different approach, like, if I'm attacking him, I'm actually only attacking myself. And that guy probably, just wants to help me as well. So it's quite a different experience.
It's a good example. Yeah, that's it, and then you can see for yourself when you have an attachment to that it has a gain to hold on to that approach, because otherwise you will have to go deeper and things will be more complex and less clear, less black and white, less good or bad, right or wrong. But it also will free up your energy to have that and say, what's underneath all of this? One of the hardest things, I think, for any of us on this kind of, we all would like to evolve. We just don't want to have to evolve in the circumstances that we're in, And so many times, those of us who get really fixed about our anger at authority or leadership have a hard time understanding that what we see missing in the world and not coming from somebody else might need to be coming from us. Because we're the ones seeing something missing and seeing what the need is. But that's daunting, and we can't always rise to that. But these are big things to wrestle with, Allard, and I appreciate the authenticity, the honesty of that kind of struggle, because I know that feeling inside. And I'm working with someone now who has had that same struggle with authorities. And of course, what the curse is, you become one of them. And now people are that way with you. And it's like, I'm not the authority. The way we attribute this power to positional power versus personal and relational power. That you're considering how you would language something that you feel free to speak, rather than the empowerment coming from what you say to this guy rather than what he does for you. Your ability to engage that. So I'm glad that you're presencing this, because I know it's relevant to people here. And if there's anything more you want to say before we switch, on what is moving from what you've heard. Thanks for kicking us off. And Amsterdam is open now, huh?
Amsterdam is always open. Sin City, man.
Thank you. All right, Diane, you were coming on, following up Allard. I think wherever you are, unmute yourself, Diane, and jump on in. Still there, Diane? Now I gotta go looking for you. Joseph is looking for you as well, I think. No, I don't see that. There you are. Unmute. You unmuted? Are you all hearing her?
Nope.
Okay. Check with Anna. You can check in with Anna. We'll see if we can get your audio working, and then we'll come back to you. And Shadow, come on in while Diane is sorting out her tech issue. It's always something, right? You might have to go in and come back, go out and come back in, but check with Check in the chat for instructions, Diane. Shiloh, come on. Where are you?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Hello.
Hi. Wow. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I guess I just feel like afraid. I don't know. I guess it feels kind of like all of me is coming undone in this weird way. All of these preconceived notions about like who I am or what the world is or my sense of control. And I've always kind of told myself that I was okay with change or the world being out of my control, and I've always considered myself like a chill, not controlling person. But then just to realize how much I fall apart when everything's out of my hands, when myself is like not in my control, like when I don't even understand myself anymore, how that is, and how afraid I get, like just this unshakable like sense of panic that just runs through me. Like I can feel it, like I just feel it everywhere, like this tangible sense of like panic or something's not right, like something's wrong. What do I do when something feels wrong? And yeah, I just felt my heart beating, and I didn't even.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Don't plan what you're gonna say." Just, I was like, "Just be here and be out of control." What is this? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do, or where I'm supposed to go, or who I'm supposed to be, or what it means to be true or honest or right or wrong, or if I'm good or bad, or I just nothing makes sense.
Right. Exactly. You just summed up the state of the world.
Nothing makes sense.
No. Nothing that used to make sense makes sense like that anymore.
No, yeah, I don't make sense. I'm like, what's happening? And I want to like run, like I don't know, something in me is like something needs to happen, but I just feel stuck in this weird state.
So if we just take a minute or two here, you're talking, we're listening. I'm here, the others are here, we're listening to you. And your mind keeps understandably saying something needs to happen. Are you sure? Like, what if nothing right now needs to happen? And nothing, you don't have to actually know anything just yet today. There isn't something to know yet. There really isn't, Shiloh, here. It's just all the unknowing. And feel what it's like to have people willing to not know anything either with you. I don't have any answer. I don't know. I don't know what becomes of us. I don't know what becomes of you. Something will, but we don't know right. This is not the time to know. We're just here. And you are a very bright young woman. And here you are with your intelligence of no use to you. So, great. And here we are just being with you when you don't have any answers, you don't have to know things. Man. And I know in the chat, you all, whoever's feeling this and understands this, you don't have to be young to go through this. It's kind of worse when you get older and you're like that too. Like, oh my God, it's still here. But Shiloh, so many of us have the habit of interpreting not knowing as something wrong with us. Yeah. Todd is saying it. I thought the same thing. Tom Petty says, waiting's the hardest part. Like, the waiting is the thing you were doing. It's not great to wait alone. Yeah, another guy is having the same experience. John Michael, yeah, he's saying, yep. I hear you. I don't know either. I hear and feel you, he says. It might still be frustrating and it might still be uncomfortable, Shiloh, sitting here.
It just feels, it's such a huge, I don't know, like I just trying to like breathe into that. It's almost like this weird relief of just having somebody just say you don't have to know.
Yeah, you don't. In fact, there isn't anything to know. You're a pretty driven person, as far as I can tell. And now there's nowhere to drive to. You know? Yeah. So used to being, I think everything you were describing, Shiloh, is a way that, you came to know how to be your way on your terms, really, and now nothing's on your terms. Like, what did you end up doing for your graduation?
I don't even the play it hasn't happened yet. There's like the caps and gowns might not even come in. The plan was that people will sit in their cars and then come out and walk across the stage alone, and they'll videotape it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Right? Everything. There's just nothing wrong with you. You just don't know. Yeah. Beth is saying, yeah, you're naming my dilemma for me, Shiloh. It's like decades between us just collapsed.
We're all collapsing together.
Yeah, exactly.
It's perfect.
Well, yeah.
Let's just melt into a puddle.
Yeah, it's a future dissolving before our eyes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. David saying you have so much wisdom, actually. Thank you for helping to see the door, to know it's just okay not to know. You were in a school system too for 12 years of, that taught you that you were supposed to know things. And now you know enough and you get to leave. And now we don't know how to graduate you. Well, you know what? This is a hell of a commencement speech. Well, you decide if you want to hear from anybody or not, or if you're happy just to be like this or not now.
I don't know.
That sounds good. Go with that. Not a problem. There's life in not knowing. You know what we're doing right now? We're waiting. You know what we're waiting for? Me neither. Just to wait for the sake of waiting. It's just because we can, and we just wait like this. This is the seed space here. We just wait. For the sake of waiting like this. Deeper breathing is coming. It was a deep breath. You can type in the chat what it's like for you to sit in the waiting, in the no thingness, not yetness, and just to practice of what that's like. Jamie's saying it's so nourishing to be here. Of course, Jamie, you love this stuff. Yeah, you know, Jamie. Breathing, yeah. It's refreshing, Tanai is saying. You reading them? Yeah, we're just sitting. It's a lost art. It's a relief, yeah, it is. Calm, yeah. We're all trying to graduate from the University of Life, you'd say. See, there's a wise woman. We don't even, no matter what age. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just birds and wind for John. Yeah. You know, when we do climbs on the Via Ferrata, Shadow, sometimes people panic because apparently people have a fear of heights, particularly when they're high up in the air. They notice it. And they have a similar kind of panic that you described. And so what we do, whether we're on the ground here in a future that has no form for you now, yeah, or a device that falls over, or a whatever. See, it all goes. Or if we're 100 feet in the air, we just wait. We breathe and we wait until calmness comes. And we don't even try to be calm. That's too much work. All right, so this is it, what we're doing. I think it was an excellent commencement speech. All right, so we have, see if Diane is working. Thank you. It's not so bad, huh?
Thanks.
Not so bad, huh?
It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to keep typing. But... All right, I'll see you. We'll talk again. And Diane, if you can unmute and see if you're working now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
See, that was to blip. See, there's always
Yeah.
something to disorient us.
I restarted, so I guess
There you go.
yeah.
Isn't that the key? Over and over again, we restart.
Yeah, I was thinking while Shiloh was sharing that I'm here with my son who's a sophomore in college, and he's just working on his future. He's like, doing his classes better than ever. He's a music performance major. He's like practicing like crazy. He's planning his whole life. He does not focus in the slightest on that. We don't know. I keep thinking like, who's going to be paying to listen to classical music by the time he gets there?
Mm-hmm.
And he just happily goes forward with he just doesn't focus there, which is kind of amazing. But I originally wanted to share because I've been living in this also, like this little bubble here in Florida where I can go out and walk and not run into people. I don't wear a mask. I walk like 3 miles a day safely. And if I do run into somebody, we just kind of, spread ourselves apart and pass each other. And I go to the supermarket when it's like around dinner time. I go in, I go out. There's no issue. I can get what I need almost always. And twice a week, I take my mother, who's 90, down the street in our community to this other woman's house. And 4 of us get together without masks on this woman's driveway and we line dance. Just something different to do. And it's more exercise, and we're together and life feels very normal. And then yesterday, there was somebody else there. And she was just hanging out and talking. And then she said she flew in from California. And I was like, why isn't she wearing a mask? But we were not close together, so I didn't really think about it. And she said, she was mad at American Airlines because they promised the seats in the middle would be empty and the plane was completely full. And then, like after she left, I was like, she danced with us the whole time, but she was at the end of the driveway, so I didn't feel threatened. But she stayed in her parents' house without a mask, and her parents are like 90, like my mom. And so now, all night long, I'm thinking, there's an invasion in my little fake world of tranquility here.
Yes.
Like, now I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? Do I just make believe it's not there? I can't make believe it's not there. It's there. Now she came here. She stayed in her parents' house. At the end of the night, the woman whose house we're at told me, should I worry? I was in their house today meeting her. And I was like, no, you don't have to worry. Just don't go back in there. But of course, then I didn't sleep all night because now I can't go near her because I'm a chronic asthmatic and my mother is 90 and it's the freaking coronavirus. So all night long, I'm going, okay, do I tell the entire community? There's this interloper here that because her father's the president of the homeowners association, so he sits in the office and people go and meet with him when they have a problem. And I'm like, this is out of my comfort zone because I have to speak up. I either have to speak up or shut up, and either I have to then start wearing a mask all the time in front of my house because people can walk past me. And I haven't had to deal with that at all. It's been like fake here because nobody gets that close together and nobody goes anywhere. Everybody's old and scared. And so they stay in. Even they don't even all shop. So I have to really step out of my comfort zone and speak up because otherwise it can have a dramatic effect on so many people. Or I can just sit quietly and wait a month and ignore everybody and that feels even horrible. So I'm in a stuck place where I know I have to speak up, and I really don't want to. I don't want to, but I don't want to like call these two women that I see twice a week and say, I can't come near you for 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Even 2 weeks, it's more.
Well, this is it, isn't it? This is it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Now, who disturbed you disturbed my peace. This woman has disturbed my peace, damn it. I've had this peace. Whether I deserve the peace, don't deserve the peace, whole nother question, right? But like you said, your pseudo reality just had an intruder. Well, yeah, because you're going to have an intruder. But it's not what you do; it's where you do it from, Diane. Now, how do you get okay inside first? On the inside, how do you get okay on the inside? Just like Shiloh has to get okay on the inside. Here, you're speaking from the other spectrum of life. Yeah, so as you settle yourself and feel your pulse quicken, or knowing that you want to respond, how do you have an authentic response that doesn't turn the mask into a political statement or some kind of dividing line, or now we've got this war between the mask wearers and all that crap. We can fight over almost anything. But for you to know that if you would like to respond, then you will feel better having an authentic response of giving people information that they might want to have, that it's not just you in the community, that, your community is mixing with the world, and the world will mix with your community. And it's inevitable at some point that was going to happen.
I didn't want to believe that, though.
Well, I know. Amen. Amen. The world is the way that I see it, and I am good with it. Yeah. A friend of mine that talks about, spiritual seekers who are saying, do not disturb my peace. I am one with the universe. Now stay the hell out of it. What does Nietzsche say? Hell is other people.
Yeah.
Other people, otherness. So it's really, I think, a fundamental posture about how you get okay with knowing that your response is a contribution and not a negation of anybody or anything, and not an attack on this woman, but a contribution to the whole. And that's the hard work. Do I have something to say that's a contribution? If not, I keep my mouth shut and I calm myself. That's a contribution too. I so appreciate this, very ordinary dilemma that is on one hand mundane, but speaks to the heart of anxiety and tension. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can all resonate to that one, huh? Yeah. So we're going to go now into our breakouts for whatever's alive for you. Some of you didn't get a chance to speak yet. Maybe we'll do it on the way back. When we come back, we're going to take about 23 minutes, 25 minutes we'll go. 25 minutes into our breakout rooms, and we have our peer groups. Whatever is moving through you that was brought by Allard or Shiloh or Diane, or is being brought by you because it's in you, and you want to give it a voice, to an active witness. And remember, your job is to accompany someone. Please don't help them. Don't try to help them, especially. That's so much work, and it annoys the helpee sometimes. So just accompany them. Just be with them and listen, and give everyone a chance to speak who wants to speak. 25 minutes. Joseph, you ready? Where are you? Let's head into
I'm here ready. I'm sending them to the groups.
Any advice?
They're gone.
Good luck, everybody. You can do this. Woo! Got about 10 minutes here. Let's hear from 10 minutes. Like, what happened? What is unfolding? That came out of your peer group that wasn't here before. What's new? What turn in the road did you make? What's arriving that you weren't expecting?
Can I say?
Yeah.
I was put in a peer group that wasn't mine, and I actually really liked it. So that's new, and I'm really grateful because we had a really deep conversation, and I'm glad I stayed. And
We missed you.
I'm
We
sorry.
missed you a lot, Sasha.
Betrayed you.
You
Peer
and
group
Rita.
hopper.
Yes.
We were glad to have her.
Next
Rule
time.
breakers. I love it.
But yeah, it was good. I felt like I was among I don't know, spiritual people and very beautiful people that I felt I could drop in and experience myself differently. Like when strangers are witnesses, it's sometimes different, and it was good. So thank you, Joseph, for that mistake, and thank you for my group to tolerate me, the new one and the old one to tolerate it. Love you. Okay.
Thanks, Sasha.
Let's say that, can I say something?
Yes.
There is something that I want to share with all of you, if you don't mind, because what Sasha says right now. For a long time, I keep on trying to convince the people who are around me to not to use the word tolerance, because to tolerate is something that we have to take that person even if we don't want it. Let's speak about acceptance instead of tolerance. And we love you, Sasha, and we like to be you back home. Thank you.
Who else?
I actually have a foot thing. What's that? Oh, yeah. Well, I actually have a foot thing that we could.
Don't see you, Jamie. Just.
Oh, I'm
Maybe-
sorry.
There you go.
Hi. Hi. I
Go
just
ahead,
heard
Jamie.
my name.
Were you planning on coming on to speak, or is this just happening somehow?
It just somehow happened.
Okay.
But I'm
All right.
thrilled to be here. You know, I'm just noticing how much, how many different facets there are to this journey, being in this pandemic, and how much opportunity there has been in my own life to grow right now. And I'm growing in ways that I would not have had the opportunity to otherwise. And I find myself expanding into the world in a new way that either I was unable to do before or resistant to do. And in my group, it was so beautiful to feel how we're all clarifying our boundaries about what it is that is really meaningful to us during this time. And I just appreciate this opportunity with everyone to reflect on that, to reflect on these new opportunities, and in the midst of all this pain and suffering. And I feel grateful and thank you, Michael, for having this time for us. Yeah, that's all.
You're muted, Michael.
Go ahead, Ingrid. Thank you. Go.
My heart is pounding, so I guess I want to share something. For me, what resonated before was like what Allard said and also what Shiloh said. And I've been going with that, fighting against and for quite a long time when Corona started. And then something shifted, and now I'm sitting with this unknown, and I'm not sure, this fighting has kind of, is not there as much anymore, fighting against authorities, fighting against what's happening, fighting against whatever. And I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm sitting now with this thing of how do I not feed my fears and not come from my fears and my anger, and how do I come from my heart and just express what I really want to express from my heart. And right now it feels more, it's either the fighting or the anger or this losing myself. And I just want to be in the middle of that and just be right there. And that's the unknown, and I have no idea how that's happening, but that's what I'm sitting with right now.
Yeah. Thanks for saying that, Ingrid. It's kind of leading us to where we can go from here today. And if you're bearing and willing to bear some unknown space, and where that begins with tolerance and can end up in acceptance, then I think what we can hope for is a chance for something new to come that's unforeseeable from where we are right now. Something unforeseeable. So those of us who are practicing that, as Ingrid is saying, not doing what I always do, not indulging some old pattern, or not just resigning into the old pattern, or, grasping at it, fighting with it. But if I tolerate and allow and bear the undoing, the bodily tension, the panic that starts to set in when I can't find my way yet and settle, there's an orienting question now for each of us going forward. If we're going to pay close attention, which we've got to get grounded and settled to notice. So what we were practicing earlier. Try this week in your life. Try it, tomorrow, today. This feeling that, and now that I'm here, I'm going to read a poem to bring this to you. Now that I'm here, what could come that wouldn't come before? Or what's coming again that I didn't choose before? That I wouldn't let myself have before? Even if you've broken your vows or failed. So feel into this poem here before we wrap up today. By the Spanish poet. These Spanish sailors, man, they're all poets. Last Night as I Was Sleeping by Antonio Machado. Again, last night as I was sleeping, I dreamed a marvelous error, an apparent mistake, that a spring was breaking out in my heart. And I said, along which secret aqueduct, O water, are you coming to me? Water of a new life that I have never tasted. This is the key right here. Along which secret aqueduct, unforeseen, unknown aqueduct, this portal, water of life, are you coming to me? A new kind of way, a new kind of life that I have never had, that's totally foreign to me. Last night as I was sleeping, I dreamt a marvelous error. We start to loosen up, we get disoriented. That I had a beehive here inside my heart, he says, and the golden bees will make white comb and sweet honey from my old failures. Many of us have had a chronic sense of failure about something in particular in our lives. And how does that sweeten us? So for us, the question now is, how do we not let ourselves succumb to resignation, succumb to failure, or interpret things as hostile or negative towards ourselves. But this is the question: bear the disorientation, the necessity of that, getting undone like Shiloh did so, so perfectly, adequately today. And wait, in the waiting and asking, now come to me, along which secret pathway, which pathway have I not yet noticed before that will now come? Because it won't be the one I'm looking for. It'll come some other way. Water of a new life that I have never tasted. Does that question have a resonance? It might not make sense, but that is the new orientation underneath everything. And that's your task for going forward from today. We're all curious to how this is going for you all. These ways of separation. We're getting ready to return now. We took some initiative, and now we're going to return to whatever is awaiting us in our current day today and the week ahead. It'd be helpful if you shot us an email, to Anna, to whoever, or just to say, here's what's I'm noticing. Here's what's new. We want to keep supporting you. We want to allow you to keep navigating the unknown here. What will help more? You need to know that this is having some kind of impact and something, help us to learn what makes this better, what makes this worthwhile to you. Okay? So we're getting ready to close out. So we're going to do a lean in, and then Nicole, if you want to do a little music when we wrap up, you can get ready for that. But go to your gallery view. Let's all take a good look at everybody. Let's lean in and see who we got. You can unmute and you can talk to anybody, say anything. Yeah, just look at all these people.
Hello.
Oh, I love the library visit, Pat. Yeah, Thomas. Ebony. Yeah. Michael.
Gallery.
Elena.
Where's
John.
this gallery? Where's the button for gallery view?
Hey, Michael, could you just one more time in more plain English tell us the homework?
The homework. Balza is the homework.
Ask the teacher.
Here's all you got to do. You got to come back, man. You just got to come back. That's what I was trying to say. Come back again and again to hear. So the question is that the quest is allowing whatever disorientation you feel that would normally agitate you or anger you, like everyone's saying, it throws you off course. Get settled, get underneath it, and ask yourself, and how was this preparation for the new doorway? What is that? What's coming now that wouldn't come before? The disorientation, the secret aqueduct. Pay attention to you hear from someone, you notice something, you see something, you see an opportunity that you didn't see before. It's subtle, but it will start to illuminate and stand out from the background. And if this doesn't make any sense, still come back. I'll say it next time. Come back. I'm glad you spoke up, Saeed. Don't make Are we good? We lean in. You get to see everybody. Did you go through the pages, the 4 pages? Yeah. Patricia, Daniel.
Where's the gallery button? I can't find the gallery button.
It's in your forehead.
If you're on a computer, it should be the top right corner.
Top right corner.
Yeah, there you go. Look at everybody here. All right,
Whoa.
Nick, Bettina.
Cool.
New world there.
I like those symbols.
There's Nicole.
All right, we're gonna sing out here. Thanks everybody. Lean in, Nicole. Sing us out of here.
Love you guys.
Good to see you, John.
This may be an awful thing to say. Now that we have lost the familiar way, our perfect plans leave so much left undone. So let's just dance and go with what will come. It's all right. It's all right.
It's okay to move your bodies.
And they say it's all right. It's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Take my hand and walk with me outside, but please wear your mask.
Hear that, Diane?
And blazing colors fly. Here's our chance to turn within the breeze. So let's just dance and learn from all the leaves. It's all right. It's all right. When they say it's all right, it's all right. And every time you smile at me, I see across eternity a candle in the window of the night. So even when we're lost, we'll be surrounded by the mystery, where every step we take is toward the light. It's all right when they say it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah. Resonate with that. Let the beauty we love be what we do today, huh? The beauty we love be what we do. Undo your days. It's time to return.
Thank you,
Each our own
Nicole.
separate ways. An unknown future waiting for you to navigate it. Go get them, people.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.